Welcome to Tigers Untapped, a Bluff City media podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, Trey LASLEY and TJ Willis. Now, let's get to the show.
What it do, ladies and gents? Episode 108. We're live from a frigid. It's finally winter has finally come, hasn't it, fellas? So I got the toboggan going. A little ball cap here.
I had my actual baseball hat on, or my cap on, and I was like, my head is cold. Okay.
What is TJ doing?
Trey.
I'm blurry, dude. I'm a figment of your imagination. Team USA, baby, dream team. Let's go.
Put your hand up. Put your hand up.
I did that. I did do that. This is my hand. Very crisp, clear part of my hand.
We're doing a palm reading. There we go. 84K TJ live.
I just want to let you know, I read your palm while your hand was up there. You're going to have 17 kids.
Whoa.
Well,
I know a guy that
can help with Dr. Sims.
We both do. Over there at Conrad Pearson. That's a shout out. I'm going to have to Venmo charge him for that because we don't do free ads on this show.
No free ads. You need to invoice that man for real.
I will. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's a special episode. We are doing a beer we have already done previously. Wiseacre, Ananda. Last week was a very difficult week for my family and I. My oldest brother passed away on December 30th. So last Monday, a night that we usually do recording this. That's why we didn't have an episode last week. He was diagnosed with glioblastoma, which is a brain tumor, a cancerous brain tumor back in June, and sadly passed away. So tonight's episode is dedicated to Duncan. This was his favorite Wiseacre and Memphis beer. So TJ and I are drinking Ananda tonight. And this is to Duncan. We love you. We miss you. And I'll see you again someday, bud. He was a huge Memphis fan. He got me into my love of football. He was a good dude. So this one tonight is for you.
Shout out to Duncan, man. Shout out to the LASLEY family, man. Like, I know we joke around a lot on this show, but your family's awesome. And I know TJ and I have been kind of aware of what's been going on with Duncan and his family and his beautiful wife and kids. But, man, we've been praying for you guys, and we're here for you. And I know all the Tiger Nation is here for y'all. And we love you, Trey. We love you, man.
Thank you.
For sure. It
means a lot.
What do you think if we get Sims to? Do you think this is a good place for vasectomy people? I feel like if we actually want to go
probably
that route,
a solid target market. I have had off the record discussions with him about having some sort of weekly segment where he comes on.
Oh, I thought you meant like just backdoor procedures.
I thought you were just gonna like do it in like, increments or something like.
No. Where he comes on as some kind of, your weekly 5-minute urology update. I don't know.
He's like, I could honestly like have him. I picture him come on. It's like one small snip today, one giant leap for your future. Something punny.
Snip of the week or something. Yeah.
Snip of the week. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Austin. Austin was here. This guy.
He would be all in on it. He would be all in on it.
I'm a massive proponent of the vasectomy. Not only am I a
successful,
hopefully a sponsor for vasectomy places, but I'm also a customer. And I want to ask, I'm a survivor. I want to ask your friend a question, something that I did the day of the vasectomy. If that's normal, if it's normal, and I don't want to go into
where you got there or in the
21
room?
Times.
I don't want to ask. I don't want to go too deep into detail here on the podcast, but
we'll get it.
I need
we'll get it set up.
Yeah,
we'll get it set up.
We'll take this.
Get you an answer. We can get it. We could get you an answer tonight.
Okay.
He is on call for me. 365.
Purple and blue, normal. Once you start getting green, I think you need to talk to somebody.
Did you say 21 times?
Something like that. I don't
remember. A couple of our buddies have gone ahead and done it, and the I don't know what you want to call it. The rehab process afterwards is insane.
Yeah. It's homework.
Yeah, your homework. Hands-on homework is.
All right. We got to get out of here, dude. Let's move on. What are we doing?
Open book homework.
Yeah. Sheesh.
I regret opening this door.
Yeah, that's all on you.
I'll take full responsibility.
It's been 2 weeks, fellas, since we last spoke. And the last time we were on here, TJ was unable to join us due to some holiday things. But we are fresh off of a loss to Mississippi State. We've won 3 straight.
Yes, sir.
Since then, knocking off, not just 2 of those have been blowouts. Let's just be honest about it. You blew out Ole Miss at home. And then you turn that around. You're now 2-0 in the AAC.
Yep.
Which were arguably, I would say, your 2 toughest conference games were those first 2 games. And you absolutely ran FAU out of the gym, out of their own gym. I mean, all like 1,300 people were gone with 4 minutes left in that game.
Yeah.
Stripe it up.
Was that not the weakest?
Listen, it was bad.
The stripe up in that building was hilarious. Hilarious.
I mean, there's not enough vertical rise in the building to stripe anything anyway.
It's a dot. Yeah. It's like a
but
dot.
It was a real.
It's a good dash.
A real poor effort there. The blue seats were sticking out like a sore thumb, but they tried. It was a t-shirt game. Remember how negatively hand up. We said, was that 2 years ago we did it for Houston?
It worked. No, was it Alabama or was it?
I think it was Alabama.
I think Alabama was a whiteout. We did it. I'm pretty sure we did it.
I remember one of them was definitely the
shirts out. I think Alabama was a whiteout. We did that for Houston, and we were kind of poo-pooing on the idea, and it actually looked really.
It looked really nice. Yeah, it looked really good.
It was good. It works when they give the t-shirts out, though. Yes. Right, and that's what they did for the stripe up for that Houston game. When you ask, you ask for a whiteout, and you rely on the people to bring their own.
It ain't
attire,
happening.
It does not work.
The Ole Miss game was a whiteout, and there was more.
It was not. I mean, I know I have several friends that are like, I don't even have a white, which is
a white shirt. Yeah.
But like, I don't have a white Memphis shirt, most of my stuff is blue or gray.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do the colored shirt game, it can even just be a cheap t-shirt. You got to do a shirt giveaway if you're doing that.
It's a tough call to ask people to do a whiteout. No, ain't nobody gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Nah. Yeah, it's tough. Like we said, 87-70 over at the time, number 16 Ole Miss. It's only their second loss. Colby Rogers, it was a damn good time to get him back. I think he was 1 of 19 heading into that game, 0 of 12 from 3. Our man went off for 28, gave them a 30 piece, could not miss. Absolutely needed. I'd said it before. It's like golf, man. He just needed like a week away. Mm-hmm. Just get a break, take your mind off the game. You come back and it's fresh. And he sure as shit lit it up against Ole Miss. They had no answer.
He couldn't. His jumper, like when it goes in, it's much prettier. But his jumper at all times is just beautiful to watch.
Yeah,
it is.
I feel like 9 out of 10 times I think that it's going in. And I'll be honest, I forget who it was in the Discord. I think it was Dylan Mack. Maybe he said there was a couple of college-age Ole Miss kids sitting behind him in the arena, and I don't think it was his very first shot, but it was one of his first couple of shots that got rejected, like blocked on him.
This is his first one.
You're kind of thinking like, oh shit, I think he made his first 3 and then he got blocked on that jumper. But then they said something like, oh, that American shit too slow for the SEC play, and then they freaking lit him up, put up 30 on their asses. What was he from the field? He was 10 of 16 and 6 and 9 from 3.
He went in that second half went on a stretch in the second half where he was just unconscious.
And if he had made, we had a 3 on or 4 on 1 maybe, after a steal and he just rimmed out the three. If that three had gone in, the lid was going to blow off the FedEx Forum.
Tell me it did not feel exactly like that Alabama game we were talking about with Tyler Harris.
100%. It felt exactly like it. And there was another, I think it was the Houston game. Kendrick came down in the second half and hit a three for us to take the first lead in a while. And the same kind of thing happened. Houston had to immediately take a timeout. It felt like that moment. And I wish so badly that had gone in because it would have been awesome. It ended up not mattering because we ran them off the floor, beat them by 17. But the only other thing we need to mention about the Ole Miss game is freaking Musa Cisse.
Oh my God. Yes.
Absolute revenge tour.
Yeah.
Just told Chris Beard to shove it, and this is what you missed out on. And I knew, I told this to my buddy when we were there. I wish Tennessee allowed you to do college player prop bets because I didn't know that if he was going to make it or not, but I knew we were coming out and we were going straight to Musa.
Uh-huh.
And we immediately ran an alley to Musa.
Yep. He told me before the game, he was stretching out underneath the bowels of the FedEx Forum. We're right outside where the media room is. And he told me, I walked past him and he said, "This is my clapback game. This is it."
Boy,
Okay.
He sure so clap back with.
Yeah, I think he did that.
13 and 11, 3 blocks, only 2 fouls, went 5 of 8 from the free throw line. That's another slap. I mean, he shot 20% from the free throw line last year at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And then you go 5 of 8 against him inside FedEx Forum.
Did y'all get a chance to see the Chris Beard comments after the game? Did y'all get a chance to watch that?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I saw he said, which one specifically you're talking about? It's been a couple weeks now, so I've kind of.
He said he talked about Musa, and he said, congrats to Penny for coaching him up. Basically he's a different player than what he was with us, which is like, come on, bro. And then he said, Musa made a business decision to leave Ole Miss and go back to Memphis, and we're just but once an Ole Miss Rebel, always an Ole Miss Rebel. But it felt like in the moment he was saying it, and I was like, brother, you sound salty right now. Like you sound salty. And then he came out and said, and this really kind of irked me because it sounds like what we've said on about every AAC game, that this is the Super Bowl, that playing the Memphis Tigers for a lot of these AAC teams is their Super Bowl. The way he made it sound was that the Memphis game was, or the Ole Miss game was Memphis's Super Bowl, and that they got up, like they played out of their minds, like they probably will never play like that again.
Yeah, I saw him, I can't remember his exact phrasing, but basically saying like we came out
emotionally attached to the
game. But it's like that's not because of playing you. I think it's because of what had just happened with State. Like they wanted to come out and prove a point. It had nothing to do. It could have been shit. I don't care. It could have been Virginia that we played that day. It doesn't matter the name across the front necessarily. Like, sure, maybe it helped because it's a little bit of a regional rivalry, but I think that had more to do with what they had done the previous week than it had to do with Ole Miss.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe from a Moose standpoint that was there, but like the entire team, I don't think that they cared that much about. It's not like it's a bunch of Memphis kids anymore, right? Playing Morrell and some of those other guys. Like, I think that was more about them wanting to come out and show like, hey, that last game was not who we are. This is what we're capable of.
It sounds cheesy because it's like one of those things where it's like, it's not that it was Ole Miss that we wanted to beat. It was just kind of like the next team on the schedule because you just kind of got embarrassed against Mississippi State, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it's just, you were the next one in the way, and it helps that you were a quad 1 win. It helps that you were a top 25 team. And then obviously just a little bit, it feels a little bit good just because you're, an hour and 20 minutes south of us. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It definitely, it felt like that there was a level of they wanted to prove a point to Memphis Tiger fans, losing to, but even with what Chris Beard said, he said, talk about Memphis playing out of their minds. I don't even feel like that game was their best game that they've played. Like I thought that Clemson game, they played much better again as a whole than they did against Ole Miss.
Michigan
the UConn
State,
game,
several
Michigan
games.
State,
like they've played really. I mean, was it Colby's best game? Probably. I mean, up there. I guess he kind of also went off on Clemson too. But I didn't come away and being like,
They played out of their minds.
Man, we'll never be able to play like that ever again, type of thing. Like that was we caught lightning in a bottle today. Like that didn't feel like that. It just felt like we came out. What? Is TJ disagreeing?
No, not at all.
Oh, I thought
I
you
was
said
just laughing at the sentiment.
No, I think that team is fully capable of that. And then they showed it in Boca. I mean, that was arguably another game that was start to finish.
That was pretty close, right?
I mean, on paper, supposed to be our toughest. And to be honest, like that being the first conference game, I was a little bit spooked by it. I'm not lying. If it had been at home, I don't think that'd have been. Yeah, being your first game on the road in Boca, like metrics wise, everything's saying that that's the toughest game. You're only favored by, I think we were favored by like 3.5, maybe. You freaking come out and they did it for the freaking metrics. Can we do that the rest of the freaking AAC season? Can we do it for the metrics? A 30 burger on the road? When has Penny
it did seem
ever
like
done
Penny
that?
finally put it together. Like, oh wait, if we just shit stomp teams, excuse my language, if we just poop stomp teams, like it's going to move us a little bit more. I don't know. It seems like he finally put it together, but maybe not. Maybe it was just balls were going in, defense was being played kind of situation.
Shout out to balls going in. Let's keep having those happen.
Someone's got to
talk about freaking Dainja though that night?
Man.
Yep.
0 points. He picks up his 4th foul with just over 15 minutes left in the second half. And shout out to Penny for not taking him out. But even more shouts to Dane for freaking lighting it up from that moment forward and never picking up his 5th foul. Dude had 0 points, 4 fouls with 15 minutes left. Ended up 21 minutes, 7 of 12 from the field, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Had 5 boards and assists, 2 steals, a block, and finished with 16 points. Our dude was our Ken Palm MVP of the night. After with 15 minutes left, he had no points and 4 fouls. Just silly work by Dane. Welcome to the freaking danger zone.
Is it nitpicking for me to like want him to rebound just a little bit more? Is that nitpicking?
I know. I wish. I mean,
like he's obviously good,
wasn't,
right? Like I'm not gonna complain.
Terrible. But if we want to talk about North Texas, we got absolutely abused on the glass. Yeah. I mean, North Texas out rebounded us yesterday by, was it 12? I'm pulling it up.
So I don't think I have it pulled up either.
Rebounds 30-21. So they out rebounded us by 9. They had 12 offensive boards to our 4. I mean, yeah, they were hitting the glass yesterday. And I think Penny said it tonight on his coach's show that Dane and Musa were a little caught off by how physical the Mean Greens bigs were playing. But that one dude, what was his name? Cisco or whatever, was abusing us at times.
Yeah, he was tough.
But then on the other end of the floor, he couldn't do a damn thing about stopping Dane offensively. Like, they were kind of going back and forth for a little bit.
Yeah, that was. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you said that was what?
No, I mean that's the truth. It is. We've talked about this from the beginning of the year with Dane. Like, what's he going to do against these bigs in the AAC, right? And it seems it seems pretty clear.
Far,
his skill level is way above.
Yeah, he is he's on a different tier than some of these guys. At least through the first 2. And yesterday definitely wasn't his best game. He ended up with 7 turnovers, which seems egregious. I mean, that's absurd. 7 turnovers.
It feels like that's the story of the Tigers, though, at times, honestly.
Yeah, it is. But he finished with 14, 3 boards. So to TJ's point, like, between him and Musa, they had 4 total rebounds, our bigs. Tyrese himself had 6. Like, PJ, Hagerty and Tyrese had 11 boards And
I will
Moose
say,
and
like,
Dane combined for 4.
I don't want it to come off as like complaining again. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be nitpicking. Like, obviously, you take what you can get from him because it's not really an offense. It's known from like you're not feeding the offense through the big man, right? It's all guard dominant for the most part, but it does seem like every game your guards are relatively out rebounding your bigs. And I don't know if it's a situation is every shot is just a long rebound. It kind of feels that way at times, but
It does.
Yeah.
you definitely have a lot of guards out rebounding the bigs. And it's like kind of, is this by design or is this just kind of the way the game is flowing? It just
I
seems
will say
weird that it's almost
there
every
were-
game.
I know Musa didn't play very well yesterday, and he ended up only playing like 15 minutes, I think. But there were at least a handful of times that I did notice yesterday that he just focused on boxing out North Texas's big, and that allowed Colby or PJ or whoever to come in and get the rebound. Was exactly
Sure.
what we like. If they're just boxing out the big and we get the rebound, it's a win.
It's a
So
win.
it's not like they don't need to grab every rebound, but as long as they're putting an ass to a body and we get it, then I'm all for it. But yeah, it's when you look at it as a box score and it's like your 2 big guys combined for 4, it's kind of like get that up just a smidge, especially when you got just dominated on the glass the way that you did yesterday.
It definitely felt like that North Texas game might have been Nick and Moose's maybe worst game of the season.
Yeah.
They did not play well.
I would say so. I mean, Nicholas, he's kind of struggling a little bit. He had 3 and 3 yesterday, 2 turnovers, 3 fouls. I mean, just didn't get a whole lot out of him in 23 minutes.
Yeah.
He did have that steal and that little move
that
at the
steal
rim.
and the offhand finished in a big moment. But yeah, I think you're gonna need more out of the 2 of them.
You got to get more consistent with your starting front court. Musa had 2 really good games. The FAU game, he was good. The Ole Miss game, he was phenomenal. You gotta have more. You have to. It cannot be on Dane by himself to man that middle.
I mean, I don't doubt that Dane wouldn't be able to do it by himself, but
I just don't trust college reffing to the point where it's like,
I mean,
when bigs get physical, they're going to call fouls. They're going to call they're going to call a bunch of stuff.
And it's not going to work out like it did in FAU every night where he gets his 4th with 15 minutes left and then plays the remainder of the game and doesn't pick up another foul.
Yeah.
Especially when he was doing it yesterday. I don't think he got called for one, but he loves reaching when he hedges off of his ball screen, loves reaching like 30 feet from the basket. And a lot of times they call it on him. But anyway, I mean, yesterday was a tough game. I feel like, UNT, Penny said it too, like North Texas is kind of the Virginia of our league. Just the way they slow it down. They
just slow it down.
They'll run the whole shot clock. They won't inbound it right away. They just shorten the game. I think we ended up with
46 shots.
Our fewest shots in a game all year. And we still almost got 70 points.
Yeah.
Which is still pretty impressive. I think that's the 3rd most points they've given up all year.
Penny said they want to average in the post game. He said they want to average 80 shots or 80 possessions a game. And he said they got 46 shots. That is a pace, man. That is a pace.
I mean, some of that is pace and some of that is you turned it over 15 times yesterday. And a lot of those weren't even, again, I mean, the same. It was kind of like state. Like a lot of them aren't forced. It's making a mental error, not concentrating on what you're just kind of being a lazy pass or what have you, or on a fast break, just like trying to do a little too much, Can
I tell you? Let me tell you this, and I think we probably will talk about him and how good he's been this year. PJ Hagerty has been he has been the guy for the Tigers. PJ Hagerty, but his lazy passes are.
He has some of the worst turnovers I have ever seen, and it's just like, dude, you are, and
you're way too good.
and I, Drew McCullough texts me about this all the time, and I don't understand. He is way too good for some of those turnovers. I mean, there was one yesterday. I don't even remember. It was on a fast break, like a 3-on-1, and he tried to throw it to maybe Colby on the block, or it was not even in the same area code. Like, it was such a bad pass. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we had cut those turnovers to 9-ish, 10, I think you win that game yesterday by double digits.
What's interesting though, we keep going back to the turnovers, and it I don't want to say it's the pace, right? Penny just talked about setting the pace and how many shots they want to put up a game. When I think a lot of the turnovers are due to the style of play. Like, you are going to play fast. Sometimes you play too fast physically. And I don't mean that as in like, hey, you've got the turnover, you're trying to go back down court really quickly. I mean, they are moving too quickly at times, and you can't get careless with the ball, to your point, and bouncing it off their knees, just running and then kind of leaving the ball behind them. I saw that a couple of times. The bigs are getting careless with the ball as well. So it's just one thing after another. And I don't want to blame the style of play. But it does seem like guys are trying to react and play faster than their body is like ready to play, if that makes sense. Does that kind of make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I know you're not wanting to blame that, but it is like, this has kind of been a common theme, right? And Penny, we've just had
It's
these
who they
frustrating,
are, right?
Right. And there's a difference in playing fast and like hurrying, right? I feel like when you start hurrying, that's where like you get a little bit careless with things. Whereas if you're playing, you can play controlled and play fast. When you start hurrying and rushing is when you start kind of having a lack of control and uncharacteristically start doing things that you probably wouldn't normally do. So there's a difference in those two things, and they need to play fast. They don't need to necessarily hurry, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There's a total difference. People that understand basketball understand what you're saying, right? Like, there's a difference between playing with speed and pace, and then just rushing, going too fast, making, not. And I see that. Unfortunately, I see that right now a lot in PJ's decision making and what he's doing. There's a lot of really, it's like you're far too good of a player to be doing it. You're way too good.
Absolutely. He definitely has some head scratching turnovers for sure. I can't even believe we've gotten this far talking about, we mentioned UNT game and did not mention his absolutely ridiculous, absurd buzzer beating 3 from the logo. Dane with the fingertip assist as the clocks go into 1. And that thing almost hit the Jumbotron. It had so much arc on it. What's a more ridiculous shot that you have seen us make inside FedEx Forum than that one?
Oh, I thought your question was just a more ridiculous shot, and I was like, "There's like 15 Steph Curry shots I feel like I could put in front of that."
No, I meant specifically.
It was very Curry-esque from the sense, someone hit one. Someone hit one, I think 2 seasons ago from the logo, like just like that, just absurd, a mile deep. As the clock's going off, you just hear the nets clap.
I feel like
who that was now.
We said it yesterday too. Like, I feel like that's typically the shot that happens to us, not for us. So it was nice for once for that for us to be on the right side of one of those. But it was absurd. He said he knew it was going in as soon as it left his fingertips, and I don't doubt that. If you're a hooper, you know what he means. He felt that one was going in, but he threw that thing so high up in the air. All right, we kind of got a week off, which I think is probably needed. For the guys, don't play again till Saturday at 1. East Carolina comes to town. You're a 95% according to ESPN to win that. Ken Palm's got you at 95% as well with an 18-point victory, which is a lot. See, this is the problem with the metrics now. We did it for the metrics down in Boca. You're favored by 3.5. You win by 30. Took a massive jump in the metrics. In all of the sort of resume-esque metrics, you're like top 10 as far as like KPI, RPI, resume. But in the computer predictive stuff, we're still sitting in, at the time we were in like the 40s, but we took like a 12, 11 point jump after blowing FAU out. So the tough thing now as you get into these even lesser quality opponents like East Carolina, when you're favored by 20, it's hard to move up in the computers because, like, even if you win by 25, you only won by 5 more points than you were supposed to. So, like, you're not getting much of a jump out of that. Like, in order to probably have a similar result as the FAU one, favored by 18, we'd have to probably win by 40 plus to have any sort of significant movement in the metrics. Which
Do you
is
not
just
feel like, though, that
unfortunate?
So the Tigers went down in the net ranking yesterday by 1 position, right? They went from 39 to 40. Was that right?
Yeah.
Is it?
No, we went to 30, from 30 to 31, I think.
30 to 31.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting? Did it help the Tigers, though? Because North Texas.
See, Penny played that game yesterday perfectly.
He played it perfectly.
If you blow North Texas out yesterday, it stays a Q3 game.
Right.
But the fact that he won it and he let them kind of stay within a reasonable margin. We only win by 4. They jumped up 7 spots in the net, and it is now it's not quite comfortably a quad 2 game, but they're 7 spots clear. He's out here playing chess. He knew what he needed. So now you come out Saturday and you blow the brakes off East Carolina, you get a little bit more of that momentum back in the metrics. That needs to be our mantra the rest of the year, is do it for the metrics. Yep. We need to start selling Bluff City merch.
Do it for the metrics.
Do it for the metrics.
Do it for the metrics.
All right. I think I found the basket I was referring to.
Stinks so bad. Who was it? Tyler? It had to have been Tyler if it was from the logo.
No. It was 2023. March 5th, 2023. Any guesses off the top of the dome?
What did you search for?
I knew exactly. No, I remember this 3, dude. I remember this thing was Sap City, a mile deep. I knew exactly what basket. I could picture it. I just couldn't.
Oh, it has to be. If it was 2023, it was Kendrick Davis against Houston. Hit the 3 to take the lead. The one we referred to earlier in the show.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. It was that 3 specifically. Yeah. Yes. It was that one that is the only shot I think I would put anywhere near.
See that the reason mile deep. Yes, that one is good, but that one was also like in rhythm off of a fast break kind of esque, and he just pulled up and you knew. I know. I'm just saying you knew it was going in. The one yesterday was just freaking mad scramble, throw something up, prayer.
As the clock.
Kendrick's was more of like, I'm about to drain this hoe in your eye, not a desperation heave, you know.
I mean, it's pretty desperate. It was a tie game. Dang, I thought I found the basket.
Desperate. I don't know. That was more of Kendrick just being I'm a bad MFer.
Yeah.
Kendrick being bad MFer. Not to totally hijack.
He's been freaking.
Have you seen him?
Yeah.
In the second
going off.
In the second best league in professional basketball, he is going
good
off.
I feel like every other night I'm seeing a tweet about how he had 30 plus.
He is so
he's got Australian dudes over there wearing Memphis State jerseys.
He's so talented. God, I wish we had had him longer.
I know. Man. I missed him. Kendrick was fun.
But this is a nice segue to completely ruin everything we were just talking about. If you had to pick right now, PJ Hagerty, Kendrick Davis, who are you taking?
Jesus.
I think we've talked about this before.
As we have, and it wasn't that long ago. But everything taken into account, I think I would take PJ.
I just found the exact video. The exact moment.
Yeah, that's good.
This is unbelievable.
The Tyler one against Alabama was good too.
From the elbow, I would call it the elbow of the Tiger. So not far off from honestly where PJ took his. A little more straight down the gut, but
did we have the same floor, or was that the old blue? Is this floor
the penis? It was not the penis floor. No, it's the first year of the first year of the
from the elbow, not the vein.
Yes,
the vein extended.
Well, yeah, the veins weren't there.
That's when we needed Dr. Sims on the podcast. When we had that floor.
I was at the arena when they unveiled that floor, and all of us were looking like, "What is that?"
That's a penis.
I cannot believe that we played basketball games on that. Like,
I think it lasted for one.
And then they were Twitter bullied into fixing it.
Yeah, like
we came back the next game and had a totally different looking floor.
Respectfully,
as
bro.
they should have been.
Respectfully.
You're gonna have to make this change.
with PJ and Kendrick, I look at Kendrick's splits with the Tigers. Look at his shooting splits, his numbers, what the points that he averaged. Because PJ is averaging like ridiculous numbers this year. He is averaging 22 points a game, shooting at 50, 45, and 80 splits in college basketball. Like
15,
it's also
nuts.
He's also doing it with more dudes around him.
Yeah, that is true. And to me, I don't know where you're taking that, TJ, but to me, that's more impressive.
It's more impressive. Yeah, it's definitely more impressive.
Kendrick did it because it was essentially him.
He had to.
DeAndre, like they had no choice. PJ's doing it in spite of having dudes all around him who can every
Tyrese,
night go
Colby,
off.
Dane going
He's
off.
Still, like I think
I was saying
to
it
me, it's PJ.
in favor.
Yeah.
I mean, I am as impressed with PJ Hagerty and what he's doing over these first 15 games as I have been with any player I've seen at Memphis. Like, and maybe even in college basketball for a while. Like, it's been a while since I've seen somebody that's doing what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean,
not to like pit them against each other, by the way.
He is our next. Both. He's legitimate, like All-American type of stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if we get a seed that we are projected right now, which is a top 4, and we make a run, like I think he keeps with 22 plus and 50, 45, and 80. Like, what's his rebound? He rebounds the heck out of the ball too, doesn't he? He averaged like 5 or 6 rebounds.
Let me see. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's he's averaging 6 rebounds a game, 3 assists a
22,
game.
6, and 3.5. I mean, he's playing ridiculous, and he's a sophomore. PJ, if you're listening, we know that you are. Please go ahead and announce that you'll be back next year, please. On January the 6th. Let's go ahead and get that announcement out there.
We'll take that. Yeah. You just don't see guys. You just don't see this in college basketball. You don't see
not that are that efficient.
No. Like you look at the betting odds on even Player of the Year award right now in college basketball. Where do you think he is? I mean, he's way down. Like he's like plus 7,000, I think, right now.
Yeah,
but he's 6th. He's 6th in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ken Pom as Player of the Year has him. Hold on, I'm about to look at. By the way, while I'm looking at this, did you guys know that CJ Walker is still playing?
How is still in college,
and 2 plays for East Carolina now?
No. You know who's even crazier to me? Antoine Jones is still in college playing basketball.
I knew that, and
what year were they?
Yeah, is he at Lafayette? By the way, Ken Pom has PJ currently as 7th overall for Player of the Year standings.
He's at Antoine Jones is at Bethune-Cookman.
What? I thought he was at Louisiana Lafayette.
He was in the AAC last year. He was with
how many teams?
Yeah,
Memphis, Creighton, UCF, Louisiana, Bethune-Cookman.
That is unbelievable.
I don't think he played at all.
He is older. He is older than CJ Walker. You were correct. CJ Walker was class of 19, and Jones was class of 18.
Oh, he was 2018-19. That is insane. Wow.
Which leads me to another question for you guys.
He's played in one game this year for 6 minutes, but he's 100% from 3 and 100% from the field.
Let's go. One for one. He's Will Coleman.
Can't be it.
No, he has 5 points, so he hit a 2 and a 3.
I didn't miss a single 3-pointer.
100% college 3-point shooter.
I never missed a 3. Yeah, Will.
What are y'all's thoughts on the NCAA potentially doing the 5th year become a standard?
Sure, why not? I mean, I don't have a problem with it, dude. I mean,
I don't.
I think for the most part, it is an extra year for these kids to be able to show off and find their way into the NFL or the NBA, whatever it may be, whatever their goal is, right? Whatever professional route they want to do. It's one extra year. It helps account for any of the funny business that kind of goes along with college sports, right? Like, hey, I got hurt. Hey, my coach got fired. Who was it? Virginia's basketball coach. You know, you're heading in, you committed to Virginia, and then August comes around, and this dude's like, I'm over this, dude.
Was it even August? Wasn't it like October?
I don't even. Regardless, you get my point though. Like, you committed to play for them and for him, and then 2 months before the season starts, he's like, I'm out of here. And like, you're like, now I got to scramble to find a new school. Or I just, hang out here.
It's also kind of the new normal, right? Like after COVID, you had that. We've had that for 4 years now, where guys were all getting a fifth year. You might as well just make it the new thing. Like you've already been doing it. It's just kind of natural progression of everybody gets a fifth year now. And plus now you've got the JUCO thing, right? So like JUCO years don't count against you. Those guys are getting years. Like I don't have any problem with 5 years.
I just realized, sorry, not to jump in front of you. You mentioned Antoine Jones. He was in the same class in 2018. That puts him with RJ Barrett, who's been in the NBA for 7 or 8 years now.
He's a 10-year player in the NBA.
Freaking goodness gracious. Unbelievable.
I was like trying to do the math while we were talking.
Kenny mentioned this earlier before we started recording, but I just now remembered it. We're expected to get several inches, like a lot of inches. I think the projection's 3.5. Which is a tremendous amount of inches.
Can we not bring that up on the podcast? Because I don't want to freak people out.
It's too late. We've brought it up. Kenny put something out there that's really now has me really worried about Saturday. And he brought up the South Florida game from last year and said, is this year's South Florida game? And I'm actually genuinely concerned. And if anyone from there is listening to this, please
do not tell people to stay away.
Do not say anything about don't come to the game.
Good God.
Please.
If people don't want to come, don't come.
They're salting the streets.
Yes.
It's not going to be icy. It's just snow. I think the high on Saturday is like 40. It'll probably be melted by 1 o'clock. Get to the freaking FedEx Forum. Don't let this be last year's South Florida game, please. Do it for the metrics.
Do it for the metrics, baby.
All 3.5 inches.
That shirt. That's a lot.
I want that shirt.
That's a lot.
Listen, Tiger fans, I apologize for even bringing that up.
It's not on you, to be honest. I had forgotten about it, and it's a genuine concern now. I am legitimately. I love snow, and I love snow days, and now I'm almost like I hope we don't get snow.
Yeah.
I hope the Dave Browns of the world are wrong, because we don't need that to happen again.
We bought a sled like 2 months ago
from Costco.
From Costco, and it's sick. I need snow. I need justification to buy that. And if it comes at the hand of not being able to go to the Tiger game or it being just you two there, then so be it. You know, I need a sled.
Is it one of the lay down on your belly ones, like the boogie board styles?
It is like you could lay on your belly. It's kind of arched. Like imagine like this.
Okay. With handles on the side.
It does have handles on the side. It also has a rope in the front.
Mm.
I would share my screen. I don't know how you guys do that. I'd never know how you guys do that. You could maybe
stand if you're into that kind of thing. Maybe get J-Dog standing on it.
He saw it in the shed the other day. He was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Don't worry about that, dude." He's like, "What is that?" I was like, "Just don't worry about it, man."
You'll find out.
He'll try to. He'll have me working my hammies doing reverse pulls through the grass.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We talked about a lot about the American doing it for the metrics. Penny tonight had a comment basically saying no disrespect to the rest of the league, but it shouldn't take PJ and Tyrese playing 38, 39 minutes every night. And he wants to get up to like a 9-man rotation for conference play. Thoughts?
He's 100.
Unsubscribe.
Stop pressing the button. He's 100%
to 9-man.
He's 100%.
Right. Oh, I think he is too. I had no problem with him saying that because it is 100% correct. There is no reason that Tyrese, PJ, and those guys should be playing 38 plus minutes a night
against ECU,
against Rice. East Carolina. They should probably play 22 to 25 minutes, and it'd be comfortably in hand. To be honest,
you guys are going to jinx
shaking your head. No,
because you're going to jinx us. This is exactly what happens. As we go into these games,
we're not saying it's not going to happen
than these small dog teams. We go into these games against these slaw dog teams, and what happens? We get our mouth smacked every time.
Not every time.
It feels like every time.
And Penny even said it today too. He said, I didn't want to play PJ as much as I did against North Texas, but you got to ride the hot hand. And so he did it.
I had to.
Yeah, we're gonna go freaking toe to toe with Tulsa.
Okay.
To the final 3 minutes now because you guys said that.
No. I'll
Charlotte
say this:
gonna give us a run for our money now.
The bench extended the lead in Boca. Did. He took those boys out. We were only up by 20. They came in. We won by 28.
Yeah,
I agree in theory. I agree in theory. That's exactly how it should work. It just hasn't historically worked for us, and maybe it's different this year because this team is built differently.
We also haven't historically gone on the road with our toughest conference game and won by 30 either. So,
yeah, that's an anomaly at this point in time until he can.
This year's different.
Do it again.
This year's different.
And Penny,
I'm going to
say this before we take a break. This year's Penny is different.
Felt that one.
That was technical foul on TJ for doing that.
I felt that one from down deep.
Yeah, so did every other person listening to this right now.
That just brought back so many bad memories of the first episode I edited of y'all's podcast. That brought back so many.
That one wasn't even video; it was just audio. And TJ thought he was muting his mic and just burping nonstop.
I wasn't. Spoiler, I wasn't.
I was over here.
Rip.
Oh my goodness. Okay, back on it. Do you guys sense that though? That this is a different Penny.
Yeah, he does seem different. I think he does seem different.
I had a whole conversation with Gabe about it last week on the Bluff. Yes, I think he is. I think Penny, the differences in Penny are going to be the reasons why all the things that we just talked about with Snow Game USF, with 8-9 man rotations, making us go against Charlotte, late into the clock. Like, I think all those things that we have PTSD about. Penny's differences are going to be what doesn't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Because he is a different coach this year. And like I said it on the show, if you're not seeing it, it's because you're willfully not seeing it. Like I just don't.
I've even noticed just his demeanor in game is different.
Definitely.
Like he just looks, not that he never looked disengaged or anything, but he just kind of stayed so even keeled. And I don't even sense that. I mean, at the end of the FAU game the other night, like, I don't know exactly what happened, but him and Dante Harris kind of gotten a little like, and that's a game where you're up 20, essentially. Like,
you know what it was? Dante almost turned the ball over, bringing the ball up on a press break, and he almost turned it over and got lit up.
That's Nick Saban shit in a blowout, and you're still coaching that hard. Yeah. That's what you need to see.
I like it.
I'm all in on this Penny.
I like it. Penny, and he's talked about it quite a few times. He said, and I even brought it up, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. At the beginning of the year, before the season started, there were two things that happened that, hindsight being 2020, we can look back and go, this is a different Penny. And that's number one, that he fired his entire coaching staff 2 months before the season, or a month before the season started. Right? Like in the moment, it was like, holy shit. Like,
what are we doing?
Yeah. But I think, hindsight being 2020, we can sit back and go, Penny had good reason to do that. Number one. Yeah. Number two, he stopped the BS with Tyreek Smith in its tracks.
Good.
Right? Like, I don't care what H-Boog and all those dudes are saying on Twitter. Tyreek did not leave this team. He went in and demanded his entire contract in full NIL money, even though he had already been paid a third of it before the games even started. He demanded his entire contract paid in full. And Penny said, bye.
H-Boog, H-Naw. Later.
Right. He said, no, you can go.
And he said, we don't work in NIL. You need to talk to Bluff City Collective or whomever paid you. I have no say in that. I cannot be involved. The university can't be involved. That's what you mean to say, I believe.
Yes. But that is what but again, that's another example to me of a difference in Penny Hardaway this year is how often, like, think back to last year with Jordan Brown, right? Like, how often has in his past time in his tenure at Memphis, has he allowed malcontents to continue to sow malcontent seeds in the locker room? And he put an end to it before the games even started, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the detriment of his team, like to the detriment of his depth.
Oh yeah, it definitely, from a front court perspective, I mean, you needed another piece.
You
sure.
still do. You need another piece now.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're also winning a lot of games, and this team is together unlike any team that he's had. And I think it's because Penny made the decision to not allow anybody to sow seeds of discontent in the locker room. And that to me is just, those are two, like, you know, earth shattering in the moment situations that happened that we looked at even in the moment and we're like, whoa, like what is going on? All this drama all over again. But maybe he stopped the drama before it started, right? Like maybe he stopped it. And that's a good thing, man.
Kenny, I have a question for you real quickly.
Oh boy.
You know about this. Trey doesn't know. Oh, Trey may know about it. So there was a period in time in the episodes where I would text our friend group or someone random, like, hey, give me a word and I'm going to drop it on the podcast in conversation with Trey. And I would never outright tell Trey, but I didn't know if you ever caught on to this, Trey, or not. But there are a number of episodes where I've said wild bananas things.
Right.
Like pineapple sausage, or like something like that. I had to drop that in the conversation on the podcast, and whoever's listening is giggling because they understand that, like, that's the word they gave me. Kenny coming out with sow seeds of discontent. Yeah, feels like you are doing it to me. Someone gave you the phrase of sow seed discontent. Yeah, and that's what you're coming at me with now.
Yeah.
Wait, so have you stopped doing that, TJ?
I did stop doing it. Yeah, I got to the point where people were like, I don't know, dude, chair. Bag.
You're like, bro,
tuna sub. Like I kept getting, like, the words were getting worse and worse. It was to a point where I was thinking, you know, it would be better. Like someone's going to come out, annexation of Puerto Rico.
That's good. That would have worked.
Oh, that would have been fun. But then it was just like, people were like, I don't know, basketball. I was like, that's just kind of what we do. Don't give me that. Give me something different. They're like, art, court. Gridiron. I was like, keep my face.
That's probably why I didn't pick up on any of them.
Yeah, well, I never did though. I never did when the words were those. I always went with something different. And I would give, if you go back like 70 episodes, you'll find it.
70.
At least. I don't know.
All right. With that, we'll take a quick break and then we come back. Our football portal has been on fire. Some are saying we've got the 3rd overall portal class in the nation, and some are saying it's totally unranked. So come back to find out which is which.
I told you that I think I need to write in and tell somebody that I retired.
You officially retired?
So for me, I think it's literally, I just want to let everybody know I'm making my announcement here on Night Court.
This is breaking stuff.
That I'm retired. I'm not coming back. I think I'm gonna hang up my sneakers. I've done as much as I can in this game that I can do. But I want to thank all my coaches, all my teammates, some of the GMs, no, the NBA is great to me and my family, man. So I would just like to say, oh wow, I just want to say thank you.
Oh no, tears! Oh my goodness. Can we go on, or should we just end it there?
Tune in to the Night Court podcast with your hosts Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
You see, Dane, for me, is the biggest reason why I seriously doubt the Tigers have peaked at this point. Because if Memphis were at its peak right now, Dane would be averaging about 15 points a game. I mean, I think he needs more opportunities. because he simply made the most of the limited chances that he's gotten. I mean, at the end of the day, this team is always going to have to be revolving around its guard play, because that's where it's the talent and the personnel and the scheming is just that. But Dane is a pretty talented big man. He's a very, very special type of post scorer.
He's such a cerebral basketball player. He knows where everyone is on the floor. He's so good with his footwork. He can finish with both hands, right, left. It doesn't matter. If they're not turning the ball over, this is a really good offense, y'all, because they can score on multiple levels. They can score from three. They can score the mid-range. They can score in the paint.
Tune in to Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta, live after every Memphis Tiger basketball game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Francis Carlotta. That's fun to say. Carlotta.
It is very fun. Yes.
If you guys haven't tuned in, you need to tune into the post games with Francis Carlotta and Kenny and Roman. They're fun. I've tuned in a couple of times.
Got fired on one of them.
Made some guest appearances. Maybe we'll bring those back. The people like them. We hinted at it. Portal work has been done. And if you haven't already done your own research, Rivals has us with the 3rd overall transfer portal class behind.
Shout out Brian. Shout out Brian Moss.
100%.
For keeping that updated or what?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think that's how that works.
We are 3rd behind number 1 LSU, who's got 14 total commitments, and number 2 Mississippi with 15. We've got 30. But supposedly, I don't know. I didn't see this, but he was on with Greg Gasson, I guess, last week and had some sort of explanation where it's not due to the sheer total number. It's weighted in a different way to where it's not just because we have 30 people in our classes while we're ranked so high. So I don't know.
I mean,
but
that plays a part in it. But yeah, it's a point system that Rivals uses.
Anyway, 247's got us as 57th, but I don't think all of the players are ranked appropriately quite yet in that one. And then On 3 just doesn't believe in the transfer portal rankings and doesn't rank anyone. So
On 3, that's not what they
here is.
On 3 is a. I want to be careful. On 3 is a scam. I think. I legitimately.
How do you go from saying I want to be careful and then just immediately straight to their scam pyramid? Ponzi scheme, multi-level marketing BS.
What I think On 3 is doing, because of who's in charge over there, is they are trying to sell off some NIL stuff that is their go-to thing. And once that happens, On 3 will be gone. They're done.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
They have an NIL valuation tool that is what they're trying to sell it off to some bigger company.
Sell it off,
and once that happens, they're out. Like, they don't care about this stuff. They don't.
That's true. They are very NIL focused. We've gotten some big names in the class, Timothy. I mean, just today we got local Germantown product, former 4-star Michigan. We've gotten a couple of Michigan guys.
Is there a Michigan pipeline, TJ?
I don't know. There might be.
There is now, apparently. There is now, it seems, right?
Cody Jones, cornerback. He was the number 22 athlete in the class of 2022. Number 11th overall in Tennessee. Has committed 5'11", 195, plays corner or safety, maybe nickel. Joining what was it, Miles Pollard? Is that the other guy from
that's correct.
Michigan that's committed? So 2 former 4-star Michigan DBs committing. They're doing work.
Is it Julian Barnett thing? Is it a Julian Barnett situation?
I don't know.
No, he was Michigan State. He was also a wide receiver in his rankings and got moved to DB technically. But it's interesting. We were talking about how good Rivals has the Tigers ranked, but they don't have some of the new acquisitions like the receiver
Rivals
Jakari
doesn't?
Caldwell. No, not yet. Jakari Caldwell is not on there. I don't believe Jaden Thompson is on there. I don't believe Cody Jones is on there yet. So you have a lot of guys that could still be added that are going to help this thing out. To your point, they do have a point. To your point, 247 does do it a little bit different. They award points based off the prospects' stars, essentially, more or less. But yes, it does play a part in it where Memphis has a gross number, as in like a lot of transfers in, but you do have some guys that have heavy weight to them. AJ Pena, the linebacker out of Rhode Island, is number 92 overall. Austin Gentle, who will probably likely play center from Harvard, is 96. So you have two guys in the transfer portal that are top 100 guys alone. Jerry Cross, former Penn State tight end, they consider a 3 stars at 294. So 3 guys in the top 300. So just little things here and there. They're all kind of adding up left and right. So I do think it's
247 doesn't even have Cross listed.
Well, here's the problem with 247 is they have Drew Martin in the transfer portal for us, and he is actually on the coaching staff. He is he is an assistant coach on the coaching staff. Like he does.
Who's the there is no Brian Moss for 247. Is that what we're saying?
Keeping it updated in that. I'm just saying someone does not update it. But Drew Martin, the assistant director of player personnel for offense and recruiting, has entered the transfer portal per Memphis 247 Sports. Maybe that's true. I don't know. Seems like a wild take, but he's listed on on there. But yeah, they're missing some guys, right? I think they have 16 inbound. If you look at Rivals probably has closer to 30. I think was the number. No, Rivals do they have more than that? Am I making that up? Wasn't it 30 for Memphis?
20. Yeah, now it's 30.
Yeah, so you're gonna have about 30 guys added, and that's again without a couple of them added. The Germantown, Cody Jones, Jakari. I don't think Thompson. Oh, Thompson is on there. Excuse me. So yeah, it's going to go up a little bit as well. So it's a lot of movement. And that it's important too because if you're in the Discord, you know this. The question's been asked, like, what's the wide receiver room look like right now? Rock is gone. Demir is gone. Kobe Drake is gone. You do get Lanfear back, a little bit different of an argument once you start working in tight ends. But out of the actual wide receivers on the roster right now, you have 7, 19 catches, 265 yards, and 1 touchdown from a career standpoint from all of those guys. That'll probably go up if you were to add in Marcelo Bussey's JUCO numbers. I couldn't find those off the top of the head, but the rest of it, 19 catches, 265 yards, and a touchdown. It's not a lot of activity from your wide receivers. Again, you have added Jaden Thompson, Jakari Caldwell, 2 guys that have played a lot of football during their final year of eligibility. We're talking, let's do quick math here, 139 combined receptions for 1,825 yards. So Thompson with 65 catches, 882 yards, 4 touchdowns, and Caldwell 74 receptions, 943 yards, and 4 touchdowns himself. The big one, though, and we're in his top 3. He is not committed. He is an absolute target. Javen Watley out of Chattanooga. That is one that the Tigers absolutely should pull in if they have a chance. 140 receptions, 2,125 yards, and 18 touchdowns in his career at Chat. He is down to his final 3. I don't know who the other schools are off the top of the head.
It was North Carolina and
North Carolina is correct. It's North Carolina or Memphis, I think, is where we're at with that one. But that is a guy who's going to want targets. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at the numbers alone, it says that his skill set should probably command that as well. North Carolina, Arizona, and Memphis. And I believe it's going to be down to Memphis and North Carolina there. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. But that would be definitely someone you want to pull in if you have that opportunity.
Was he
You got Court.
FCS All-American, or am I making that up?
I would not doubt it with the yards. Wouldn't doubt it. You also have Cortez Braum, who was the second leading receiver out of Nevada last season. So obviously there's a direct connection there with Brandon
Wait a
Lewis.
second.
I don't want to get too heavy on the Wolf Pack as a 3-10 or whatever 3-9 team.
Hey! I get it. Trust me, I get it. They were not very good. They were better than they were before that coach got there. You got to think this is, I think, their either first or second year with the new coach. The team was not very good. I'll be straight up honest with you. But this guy seems to be pretty good. 56 catches, 724 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was a JUCO guy. He will be here tomorrow or Wednesday. I can't remember exactly. This is Monday. So either he'll be Tuesday or Wednesday. I think he'll be in town on a visit. So he is coming in. Wide receiver is clearly a position of need right now, arguably with defensive line. I think those are your two biggest focus right now.
I have a question for you on the tight end room. Obviously, with Anthony coming back for his final year, Jerry Cross and Anthony Lanphier, are you guys pretty excited about that tight end room?
100%.
I am. I mean, I honestly was a little bit worried that Jerry might decommit after Lanphier said he was coming back with that JUCO ruling, but I mean, I was pumped up about Cross, to be honest. But I don't see any harm in having both of them.
I mean, you lost Brendan Doyle, but
that doesn't upset me in the slightest.
But you saw with the way that Silverfield and Cramsey ran the 2 tight end system, like Brendan got a lot of run. He got a lot of plays. Imagine
a lot of run he probably shouldn't have gotten as well.
Wow. Damn.
Trey, not a Brendan Doyle fan by any means.
Really? Wow. I can't
tell.
tell.
I've never seen somebody whiff on so many blocks in my life. I mean, I'm straight up. Caden Priestcorn, who had never blocked a person in his entire life, wasn't that bad.
I didn't think he was that bad, but on some of those split inside zone plays where basically the whole line is going right,
and he has to block.
His one job is to block, the backside end, and he did not hit that guy off the. I will admit, I've seen it happen several times. He did struggle with that, and it's got to be hard. You're hitting a moving target. I get it. It was rough. I am excited about Jerry Cross though. That's a big dude.
Yeah,
I think he and Lanphier are about the same size, right?
That's crazy. Because Lanphier. Brendan Doyle was not a big kid at all. He was small. Like he was small.
Kenny, I think that's relative because you yourself are a large man. Lanphier is 6'5", 250 is what they have him listed at. Jerry Cross is about that same size. So, but the thing with Cross is he is more fluid. He is more of just a really large wide receiver, more or less, that can block. So you get a little bit different. Not to say that Lanphier isn't, right? I think Lanphier is very good for what he is. He is your prototypical tight end.
We're talking about bringing back
the
first team all AAC tight end, right? Like,
I'm
not. It was surprising, but that is a fact.
Does that say more about the strength of the tight end position in the AAC than it does? I mean, listen, I love Anthony. Well, I'm glad he's back, but. Come on.
Don't disparage the name of Anthony Lanphier.
I'm not.
I think the issue is that the American is such a pass-friendly league. You got 4 wideouts, and a lot of the balls are just going to wide receivers and not to tight ends often, right? So who was going to win tight end was always going to be either us or Tulane, I think, was the other guy. They got a lot of play there because they are very run heavy. So they're going to have tight ends just like we would.
Thought after that UTSA game, all 3 of their tight ends would have won it probably, but
their tight ends did have a pretty good day for us. So look, it is what it is. I think if 247 updates everything, you'll see the Tigers shoot up.
Yeah,
I go to Rivals for my stuff. But
I didn't realize that earlier when I looked. They have half of our commits listed. So
yes.
And they don't. Jerry Cross committed a month ago, and they don't even have him on there. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
Damn good class we've brought in though from the transfer portal.
I'll
Very
tell you what.
defensive heavy, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's got. I'm a little bit excited about this quote unquote new era. Right, we're getting a whole lot of fresh blood in here.
So I have a question for you about that. There's been some comments even in the Discord. Fans were underwhelmed by Brendan Lewis. How are you guys feeling about going to be coming into camp as the number one quarterback, and we'll probably get a large portion of, unless AJ just comes in and just blows everybody's doors off. Like Brendan Lewis will get the majority of, he'll play a lot. How are you guys feeling about it? Are you guys underwhelmed or you feel good?
I was initially, yes, underwhelmed. I think I even put it in the Discord. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they take another transfer quarterback. That is obviously probably wrong. And I think TJ's kind of talked me more into it. He was like top 10 in the nation in accuracy, right? Like,
yeah.
And he rushed for 800 plus yards and 12 rushing like, I think us having a true dual threat is going to be really fun.
It's going to be
as much as it has hurt us in the past, it's going to be really nice to be able to watch.
Dude.
I mean, the dude has a 70-yard touchdown run this year. When was the last time we watched a quarterback run more than 20 yards at once?
Mo Avery, maybe.
Yeah, like, and he was a freaking converted wide receiver.
Yeah, do we count Mo
and
Avery?
played for the basketball team. Mo Avery was a do-it-all cat.
Oh, you know what? We had the kid not last
Who's
season.
the kid from LSU? The backup from LSU.
Oh, Patrick.
No.
Peter Parrish.
Peter Parrish.
Yeah.
No, Peter Parrish. It was the other guy. Man, he was Seth's backup, and he got to play because Seth was hurt. He came in and just like, F it, I'm running it.
Yeah. And we kept saying that should be a package to run.
It was read
option
what was his name? He was a fifth year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was his last year. Here, let me look this up. I think he may have had a 20-yarder.
No, you're right.
I think it was that one play.
And he tripped over his own feet, otherwise it would have been a touchdown.
What was his name?
The
first one that came to mind was Tevin Carter. That's not right.
No, that is not right. Was that 2023? Or was
it was 2 seasons ago.
2022?
It was 2 seasons ago.
It was 2 seasons ago.
Dude. Yeah, I butchered it. Ryan Glover.
Ryan Glover. Yep, that's it.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was. Ooh. Hold on. It may not.
No, that was right.
No. It was Ryan Glover who I'm thinking of. I thought the run was greater than 20 yards. I don't know that it is now. Harping on small stuff here.
No,
anyway,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
all that to say, I was
your biggest deep. 16.5. We're close.
I was initially underwhelmed by it, but I'm kind of TJ's talked me into it, and I think I'm excited about the possibility of having somebody that can not just extend plays, but is like a legitimate running threat. I think it'll really open up.
I haven't covered a Tiger football team with a quarterback that is a legitimate dual threat.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited about it now.
Yeah. So, and this is, I kind of talked about it in the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, you're probably getting double dipped on this stuff. But I think the issue with Brendan Lewis is that everyone was dead set on, we want Chandler Morris or we want Preston Stone, these names that you're familiar with, names that have torched you in the past. And when it wasn't that name, you were like, what are we doing? This isn't some SEC transfer. It's not any of these two dudes that we just talked about. It's this guy on a 3-win team. And then you actually go look at him. And you had the combination of Sutton Smith, Greg DeWoe in the backfield with a running quarterback.
Is that something you're starting? Are you starting that?
Y'all never heard him say?
Kenny, what's also, I'm surprised he even gets DeWozier out of his mouth. Kenny, what was the one thing that you and I were talking about though that we wanted out of a quarterback? Mainly, with the names that were popping up. We wanted experience, right?
Yeah, experience.
And this is about to be Brennan's 6th year in college.
Yeah, it was experience. That's why there was
So,
names that I called you about a name that was floated to me, and I was like, "That this is not the guy.
No.
Like this isn't
we don't
the
want
guy."
we don't want somebody that's thrown 5 total collegiate passes in live action.
And yes, and he was a 5-star coming out or a 4-star coming out. That's great, but he's had 5 snaps in 2 years. Like I'm good. I want experience. I want a guy, which is why the Chandler Morris thing, which is why I never really got behind the Preston Stone thing, but the Chandler Morris thing really interested me because we've seen him play a lot of years, and he's what was North Texas's passing game? Were they like top 5 in the country this last year? Like they were extremely proficient throwing the ball. And I was like, man, that's the guy, right? Like that's the guy I would like. But I like, because of what it is you need. You need somebody with experience, somebody who can who's got a very clear defined skill set, which is what Brendan Lewis has. Yes, he hasn't won a lot of games at Nevada, but I mean, he's exactly what you need in terms of to bid time until Antoine gets ready, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a dude that's whatever, 700 passing attempts probably in college, right? So I mean, this is a dude that's been through it.
He's almost at 850 attempts. He's 512 for 839, 61% completion over 5 years.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. The fact that he can run it, I don't even like. Yes, it's nice that at quarterback you should probably care about his passing. All in all, right? We already talked about it. His completion percentage is 67.6, which I think if you look at it nationally was number 11, maybe. I think I said top 10, but it actually may have been number 11. Let's look real quickly. Who are we talking about? What's his name? Brendan Lewis. Percent. Let me search on percent. Brendan Lewis, number 11. Excuse me, 67.6% accuracy rating. But where I'm going with this is, if you look at his rushing yards per game, I know this is like a dumb thing to harp on. Against SMU, he put up 77 rushing yards, then 34, 97. He did have -1, whatever. 65, 90, 151 against Oregon State. You tell me we're going to have a quarterback
on 9 attempts.
A quarterback putting up 151 rushing yards would be bananas. 38 rushing yards. He didn't play against Hawaii. 109 versus Colorado State, 32 against Boise, 53 against Air Force, and then 30 against UNLV. So some of those back games, 30, 53, 30, whatever on those. I will say a lot of their games that he played in were pretty close. It wasn't like they were just getting smacked around left and right. The Minnesota game, they got smacked. We talk about them being 3-10. They were in the SMU game. Everyone saw that. It was week 1 or maybe in week 0. Everyone was watching it. Georgia Southern was a 1-score game. But San Jose 1-score game. Fresno State 1-score game. Didn't play against Hawaii.
Boise was a 1-score game.
Yeah, and Colorado State was 2 scores, but you get the point here. So he's got talent. I think it was more of a situation where he had just dog water around him. So it's not helpful for me to say that and then say, let's bring in his wide receiver. But there's some timing and some experience there from the wide receiver perspective. I'm just giddy about the running combination of he and Sutton Smith running freaking options. Are you joking?
And Greg. All 3 of them. We're getting some speed back on offense.
God, I'm so ready to see some speed out there, man. For real. Oh,
they're gonna have it.
That'll be fun.
They're gonna have it.
Speaking of speed, I drank this Ananda fast as shit.
Yeah, I've taken a couple of sips where I was like, nothing came out of it.
That was not a Javion Ducker drinking speed.
It's definitely a Calvin Austin drinking speed.
Amen, brother. Hey, one more thing before we move on. The one thing that we didn't talk about with the transfer portal is a kicker, and this guy's name is going to be a pain in the ass. Gianni Spedic.
I like it though. Have you seen him? Dude runs a 4.1 40.
No,
Nope,
Kenny.
Not that guy.
Not that guy.
We got Ohio's kicker.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, this dude, extra points, 47 of 48. So he's sitting at 98% on extra points. That seems like it should be a gimme. I wish it was. It's the 13 of 16 on field goals, 81%. Oh, I don't know the last time.
What's his range? What's his range? How far can he kick the ball?
Ooh, let's look at game. You want to look at game logs?
I do.
Just give us
If
season long.
if he can't kick past 50 yards, then I'm out.
That I'm not on ESPN, so if that's what you're referring to, Trey, I don't see that.
What's his name? Gianni Septic?
Spedic.
Oh man, I cannot wait for
Spedic. Yeah, that's a butcher. All right, so 4 of 4 from 20 to 29, 5 of 6 from 30 to 39, 3 of 4 from 40 to 49, 50% on 50 plus. But he only kicked 2 of them, so I'm not going to complain too much. His long was 52.
Let's go. I'll take it. Shout out Caden
I'll take
Costa.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Stop.
Sorry.
Don't be ugly.
My bad.
Hey, look, it seems like the kicking game should be.
Why has our kicking game been so shit the last?
It seems like it should be so good.
Annoying.
We had such a good thing going.
We were kicker you. We were running back you and kicker you, man.
Goodness. Speaking of, did y'all see?
We had Riley
Patterson's attempt at the game winner for the Falcons 2 weeks. Was that last Monday night or Sunday night? From 56, and it came up like
10 yards short.
8 yards short. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
So hear me out. Let's run this back. Tanner. So going all the way back to, we'll go back to Riley Patterson. You had David Kemp.
To do this. Oh god.
Yeah, you had David Kemp who went 5 of 7 in 21. That's 71% completion. Then you had
talk about
Big Joe.
7 kicks.
Only 7.
Well, that's because they moved in. That's what I'm saying. They moved in Joe Doyle.
No, that wasn't
because he got.
Who are the kickers that got hurt? The 2 kickers that got hurt in that year.
Well, it was David Kemp that got hurt, and then
I thought David Kemp was. I thought he was the guy that came in. Who came in to replace him?
It was just Joe Doyle.
Oh, Joe Doyle. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, the punter got moved to. He also had a kick, and so he's never kicked a field goal, dude. So he ended up doing 7 of 12, which is 58%. Which whatever, dude. If you asked me to kick a field goal off, I couldn't take a field goal. We've done this before. It's awful.
Whoa. TJ, I don't know what's going on. This isn't your fault. This is a fault of ESPN. They've got his season career stats listed as long of 52, but I'm looking at the game log. He played Miami of Ohio in the MAC championship and kicked a 53-yarder.
Whoa.
Come on, man.
Pay some respect from Gianni Spedic. Johnny Spedic. I'm with you. Joy Doyle, 58%, whatever. That's a tough place to be put in. Then you got Chris Howard, who was a bit of a surprise after being kind of a nobody at Florida for a bit. 21 of 24 on field goals. That's 87.5. I was happy with that.
I remember
Seth Morgan came in. Go ahead.
Didn't Trey trash on Chris Howard's leg? Didn't he call him some kind of like soft? Didn't he? Wasn't he?
I think everyone did. Yeah, he wasn't kicking long balls.
Not me. It was his own damn special teams coach calling him out for having a baby ass leg.
Bankins, wasn't it? Bankins said something.
Yes.
Yeah. It was, honestly, looking back, it's a fair comment. My guy couldn't hit. He couldn't bang them. Couldn't bang the deep ones.
Didn't he hit the crossbar and it bounced in on like a 45-yarder or something? There was one. So. I think it was him.
That sounds right. You had Tanner Gillis in there as well. Tanner came in, and honestly, I don't even remember why Tanner played in some of these games, but 10 of 13. That puts him at 77% completion. You've also had Seth Morgan, who came in and was like, I'm hurt. I don't even want to do this anymore. And so he left. He wasn't hurt, and he went to Tulsa, I think. I don't even know whatever happened to him. Let's see. He went to Tulsa and kicked 67% accurate. Get out of here. He deserved to be at Tulsa. 67% at Tulsa. Get out of here, you nerd. Tristan. You had Tristan. and he pinched hit for us this year. Pinched kick, I guess is the word. 9 of 13, 69%. Then our bestie for the resty, Caden Costa, 8 of 13, 61.5. So we're talking 3 consecutive kickers in the 60s. That's absurd. And now
That's awful.
We got Giannini putting us up.
He's off an 11-3 MAC champion Ohio Bobcats team.
That's
what
where Tristian's
I like.
from.
Bringing in these dudes from winning programs. That's what we need.
Who's the influencer? The one that runs the 4-1-40.
I do not remember that dude's name. He was a decathlete at Mississippi State. You're going to ask me this question. Yeah,
we talked about him on the last episode, but I can't remember what. Yeah, that's what I told Kenny. I was like, "Have you seen a photograph of this dude? There's no way he's natural."
I think he is natural. I think he's just a freak athlete because he was a decathlete, and now he's like, you know what? I can kick a football. Let's do it. And it's just like whatever.
Well, he's built ridiculously.
He's not on our Cruise
Yeah.
Goose. I don't know that
he's
he's actually
he's TikTok.
transferring. I don't know how that works, but
He's TikTok famous.
is he?
Oh
yeah, supposedly.
Cruise Goose. Yeah, this dude's absolutely shredded. Not in like a scientific way, not in like a weird.
That's what I'm saying.
way.
He's like Captain America-esque or something.
Yeah, he's shredded for sure. He doesn't make sense to be a kicker. He does backflips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He runs a 4-1-40.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Let's just get him back there returning kicks.
Cruise a goose. That's right.
Well,
I mean, he's in his Instagram. He's got Memphis football all up in his Instagram.
Yeah, he's coming. He's locked in.
Good. All in.
He's all in.
Dude, it got a video of him jumping out of a pool. Like jumping out of like broad jumping out of a pool onto the.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Jesus. I used to be able to do that.
There's a video years and years ago now at this point. It was a Notre Dame linebacker, Darius Fleming, I believe, was holding 2 20-pound dumbbells jumping out of a pool. It's like you're already 250 pounds. I don't think you need an extra 40 pounds in your hand at this point to jump out. But I will never forget about that. That is the freak athlete stuff.
Yeah, that's absurd. That is ridiculous. All right, fellas. We're at an hour and a half. We made up for missing last week. We've done the review on this before. With this one being dedicated, I'm going 10 out of 10 on the can. Best can out there by Wiseacre. And this specific special beer this week is a 10 out of 10.
That's right.
Do I even give a score? Like, I don't even know.
You don't have to.
Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. It feels like this is your beer.
No, that was Duncan's beer.
It's Duncan's beer.
For Dumpy. All right. With that, it's good to be back. We missed you. Come back next week with a cold beer, drinking Ananda in between. Come back for the hot takes. Peace.
If you enjoyed this episode of Tigers Untapped, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Like and subscribe at Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports.